ठीक है। तो टुडे व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू स्टार्ट इज रिएक्ट जेएस। ठीक है। एंड this will be like from this week we are going to actually start learning about the MERN, that like the course, what is this course on. So like the MERN, M stands for MongoDB, E stands for ExpressJS, that is the backend part, and for Node.js, but the R stands for the React.js. So we are going to start React.js, and React.js comes into the front end. So we did the JavaScript last week. Now this week we are going to start React.js, and React.js, like I have given 3 weeks. So now like the only thing left in the front end part is the React.js, and yeah, like it will take three around 3 weeks, and after that the remaining 1 or 1.5 month is going to be for backend. Okay, let's start. Someone came. Okay. ठीक है. So, what is React.js? This is the first question, and today like will be a more theoretical class. Like we will cover about what is React.js, how it is different from JavaScript, so that you will get the idea of why we are learning React.js, but why we are learning React.js. ठीक है. So let's start. So when we talk about what is React.js, I have written here 4 points. Okay, and whenever someone will ask you, "Ki, give me the definition of React.js," if you are going for an interview, like for a React.js developer or a front-end developer, so the first question they will ask you for is the, like, have you ever worked on React? And if yes, then just tell me what is the React.js. These are the 4 points that sum up mostly, like mostly they sum up the React.js. Like these 4 points will tell you what React.js is. So it is the JavaScript library till now, and like today we will explore each of these points. Okay. So like you will get the idea, because each and every point of this particular definition is a topic. Okay, that will help you understand, that will make you understand ki, bhai, how what is React.js and how it is different from JavaScript. Okay, as simple as that. So React.js, the first point is, it is the JavaScript library. Okay, just for now, remember this. It is a JavaScript library. We are going to talk about it later. Okay. Second point is, it helps us to build reusable UI components. As simple as that. Okay. Again, we will talk about it. Third point, it has something called virtual DOM. DOM, that we understood, that we covered last week. By DOM manipulation, we do document object module is something that we that a DOM tree is being created from like whatever the HTML we write, and then we manipulate that particular DOM tree with the help of JavaScript. So that is the particular actual DOM tree. But React.js has its own something known as the virtual DOM. Again, we are going to look at that. Fourth point is, it is used to create the SPA apps. SPA stands for single page application. One thing that if you go, like if you have any doubt, you can just open your mic and just you can like ask your doubts. Okay. So it is used to create SPA apps. SPA means single page application. Single page application. Whatever the things or whatever the websites we will be building, or like we used to build with the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, they are not called as a single page application. So we will see the difference between what exactly is single page application. We will talk about that. Okay. So for now, mug up these things. Okay, I am saying myself कि भाई mug up these things. If you are not understanding right now, don't worry. We will cover each and every point today only. Okay. So what is React.js? React.js is the, like how will you tell the interviewer? Okay, React.js is a, like if he will ask you what is React.js, you will tell him कि React.js is a JavaScript library that help us to create UI components, and it has something known as the virtual DOM that will help us to create the SPA apps. Apps mean applications, and SPA means single page applications. Okay, understood this part? These are the 4 points that actually sum up our React.js things. Okay, there are some other things that we are going to learn like later in this course, okay, when we will deep dive into React.js. So let's start and let's actually look into these each and every point. Ki, bhai, what is this meaning? What is this JavaScript library? What is this UI component? What is this virtual DOM? What is these SPAs? Okay, so let's start that thing. Okay. First point, it is the JavaScript library. Now I'm telling you the definition of what is a JavaScript library. Okay, I'm not talking about right now the React.js. React.js is a JavaScript library, but the definition here it's says ki bhaiya what is a JavaScript library? A JavaScript library is a toolbox filled with pre-made tools, pieces of code that you can use to build your web applications. Okay, instead of building everything from scratch, you can use this tool to make your own work easier and faster. As simple as that. कि भाई library is something. When we say a JavaScript library, then we are saying in simple terms कि भैया a something new has been created with the help of JavaScript that uses JavaScript. And what it will help us, it will help us in some features, or it will help us to uh, make our code small, and it will provide us features. So this is what this definition is saying. A JavaScript library is like a toolbox that is made with pre-made tools, like a pieces of code that is being already written in this particular library. What we are going to do, that we are going to import this library into our own project, and we are going to use this library that will make our work easier, that will make our things easier to create our particular applications. As simple as that. This is a definition of a JavaScript library, you can say in simple terms. Okay, the concept behind is कि भैया something which is made up of JavaScript, like whatever the code they have in their toolbox, it consists only JavaScript in their particular toolbox. Okay, but that will somehow help us. That will somehow make our particular web application smaller in terms of code. I am saying, okay. So that is why we are going to use this particular JavaScript library. This is the definition of JavaScript library. ठीक है, रिएक्ट जेएस इज वन ऑफ देम. ठीक है, रिएक्ट जेएस is one of the JavaScript library. jQuery, if you have heard of it, is another JavaScript library. ठीक है, AngularJS, if you have heard of it, Vue.js, if you have heard of it, they are the frameworks. Now भैया ठीक है, that's another topic. But what is the difference between library and framework? We will discuss this. uh, don't worry, we will cover that, because this is a very very important question, and like interview will ask you ठीक है, as soon as you will say ना कि भाई react is a JavaScript library. ठीक है, तो no, as soon as the person will ask you, okay, tell me, is it a library or is it a framework? So you will confuse ki, I think it is a library. Then he will ask you what is the difference between library and framework. So we will discuss that later, but this is the name, not main point of our today's slide. So React.js is one of the libraries. ठीक है, Angular.js and Vue.js are particular frameworks. ठीक है, as simple as that. Does this mean we don't have to write code? No, we have to write code, but we don't have to write the code how we used to write. ठीक है, as simple as that. कि भाई नहीं, ऐसा मत, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि हमें कुछ कोड नहीं लिखना पड़ेगा. हम जस्ट वी कैन जस्ट import this particular thing into our particular project, and then we can start building it. No, we have to write code. We have to write the code of that particular library that we are using. In our case, it is a React.js. ठीक है, but React.js provides some features. ठीक है, React.js uh, provides us some features that we are going to use, that will make our code much smaller, and that are make as a developer, like a will help us as a developer to write code very easily. Okay, as simple as that. Then how React will help us? Now here is the point, a very very important point that differentiates React and the JavaScript. A very important question to answer in your interview questions as well. Remember about the DOM manipulation. ठीक है, remember the DOM manipulation that we discussed last week, कि how we used to do the DOM manipulation. We write some syntax known as the document.get elemented by id, then we select that particular element, then we used to manipulate that particular node of the DOM tree of that particular element. ठीक है, now we don't have to worry about our DOM. Oh, this is a new point. Now we don't have to worry about our DOM. our document object module, our DOM tree that we used to manipulate. We have to focus on building the UI, and React will do that DOM manipulation for us. That is the very, very important point to note. Keep remember what particular React is bringing, why it is called the library, because it will help us to build something in very easy manner. Why in easy manner? So what help will React brings to us? It brings कि भाई something DOM manipulation we used to do when we used to write the whole particular JavaScript code. Now we don't have to worry about that thing. Okay, now we don't have to write something known as some like, now we don't have to worry about ki bhaiya a document would get elemented by id. We first select that element, then we do some, we dot inner text, or maybe manipulate the particular, in simple terms manipulating that particular node. Now we don't have to worry that. We have to just focus on building on the UI means ki bhai front end part, and all the DOM manipulation that we are going to do, that we used to do, now with React will do that. Okay, React will do that DOM manipulation for us. We are going to actually see how it will do. But for the concept wise, if someone will ask you, you have this this is the one main point that you will have to keep remember. Okay, DOM manipulation, React will do the DOM manipulation for us. That is why it is called the JavaScript library. Okay, understood. First point we have covered, it is the JavaScript library. Okay, second point is the build and the reusable UI components. Let's go to the second part. What are UI components? Okay, previously we used to write code in the single file for writing the UI, a single HTML file for your homepage, and it can contain the nav bar, then your hero, and the foot bar. Okay, this particular code is telling you कि भाई you used to create your particular UI or the like whatever the front end you create, you used to write all those things in your particular HTML file only. Like let me bring my whiteboard here. So we are discussing about the components. ठीक है, so what we used to do is कि भाई we are building a particular home page that contains a nav bar. Nav bar means it will contain your like all the about us services and the sign up page. ठीक है, then there is some hero section that will tell about the website. Then there is something known as about us, and then there is a foot bar. ठीक है, as simple as that. Now, in order to create this particular site, we used to by write a simple home page, home.html, and we used to write all this particular code into a single HTML file. ठीक है, first a nav bar section, then we used to write some code, then we used to create a home page like hero section, uh, something like this particular code. Okay, as you can see, this is a good example. Like there is a navbar section, navbar is being created, then there is the hero section, and then there is the footer section. As simple as that. So you are writing your particular code in your one particular HTML file. Okay, writing the UI a single HTML file for your homepage. Then maybe there may be this particular like there is the another page of the contact us. ठीक है, if you click on this contact us, then there is a no new page, there is a new page, a contact.html, and that will contain a nav bar, that will contain your hero section, that will contain some form. ठीक है, button. In React, what we are going to write is we are not going to write our particular code like we used to do in our HTML. ठीक है, what we are going to introduce is the UI components. We break our particular home page into different components. A nav bar is known as one component. A hero is known as one component. A about a section is known as component. So what we are doing actually here is that in React, this is our particular home page, okay, and this particular home page, now we are going to divide this particular home page into the components. Nav bar is one component. ठीक है, component one. A hero section is another component. We can name this as component 2. Our foot bar is another component, component 3. So, Bhaiya, why we are like Akshat, why we are doing this in components? Why we are actually breaking this in components? Let me show you. So, like for now, this is a particular home page, but now we have divided this in a components. How what we are actually going to do is in React we write code in components. ठीक है? We divide our home page in components and then call them in one single file. This is what I am saying. Okay, this is your React syntax. Don't worry about this. We will going to learn this later. But right here, understand the concept. In this particular file, you as you can see, in this particular file, as you can see, कि भाई we are not like we have not written the whole. ठीक है? Someone escaped. So in this particular file, we have we have not written the whole code. ठीक है? Just like we saw in HTML. कि भाई we were writing the whole code in the navbar and the hero section, then put it in one HTML file only. In React, what we are actually doing is that we have break our particular homepage into these components. ठीक है? Into these different files. Yeah, hero is now a different file. ठीक है? A navbar is now a different file. A footer is now a different file. So what we are doing actually here is that we have divided these components. Yeah, we have divided these components into different parts, into different files. And what we are doing here is we are writing these components into, like we are creating these components in different file, and then we are calling them in our one, like the main or the root file. Okay, these particular files if I have to create the navbar UI, then I will create a different file of navbar something.js. Then we will like cover it later, uh, how to create all these. But this is a React syntax, you can see right here. So what we are, in simple terms, what we're doing here, we are just making these files known as the components, and we are calling these individual components into our main file. Okay, so navbar is a component, hero is a component, footer is a component, and we are calling them in the main app. So like app is the root particular file of this particular React. How we used to write code in HTML? We used to write code in HTML in one single file. In one single file. कि navbar भी इसमें हो गया, hero भी इसमें हो गया, footer भी इसमें हो गया. But in React, we write our codes in components. ठीक है भैया? Why in components can't we write our whole particular UI in in uh, okay. So can't we write our whole a code in React we as we used to write in HTML? Yes, you can write. You can of course write, instead of calling these components, you can create your like this particular thing in a create. But see why we are why we are making a code in components, because we want to do something with these particular components in future. We are going to understand why we have break our particular React into components. See, the one answer is the basic answer is that you can call this component in other files also. As you can see, I have created this particular component. This is a hero component. Okay, and now I am doing something import here. Import means कि भैया you are importing this particular component, ठीक है, or the React file you can say for now, and we are importing this particular component, and now we are using here. So this is like a reusable component. This is like a reusable component. That is why in the definition we saw something like कि भाई build and reusable UI components. If you break your applications in your components, then maybe in future you can reuse these components in some other files also. See, like a foot bar never changes. ठीक है? Like foot bar will remain a foot bar for all their pages, like whether it's a contact page or uh, whether it's about a space. ठीक है? So footbar will remain same. So what you are doing here, you will create a component like a footbar, and then you will call this component in all your particular files. This is like a one problem we are solving. Okay, so for now, but like we will see other reasons also why we are breaking these things in components. Okay, but for now, these known as the components. Okay, as simple as that. Let's third point has is it has something. Understood the first 2 points? Just give me a yes. Okay, okay. Divyanshi came late, so like Divyanshi, you can see the recording later of like starting 15 minutes, so you will understand this particular point also. This is a JavaScript library. Okay. Coming on to the third point, it has something called as the virtual DOM. That is the very very important point for us to understand in React JS, and React JS got famous because of this particular virtual DOM. Okay. So we are going to learn what is this particular virtual DOM. Let's understand virtual DOM. Let's understand the what is the problem we were facing. Problem with direct DOM manipulation. When you update the web page, like changing text, adding an element, you are manipulating the DOM. Okay, the object document object module. We saw this practically in last week. Okay, कि how we are manipulating this, changing text, adding an element. We did all this. Okay, if you remember, we did all this. Like dot inner text will help us to add tags, and dot create element will help us to create the element. So we did all these things last segment. That is what we are doing, the manipulating the DOM. Okay, this process can be slow and inefficient because the browser needs to re-render the whole page, even for the small changes. Recalculate style, potentially the re-layout the page. Let's understand this particular thing, what it is saying. Okay, let's understand this particular page, this thing. Okay. DOM manipulation, and it is the problem. ठीक है तो but what we were saying is कि भैया the uh, manipulation we used to do in a particular React DOM in our but see, this is something known as the DOM tree. ठीक है, this is the DOM tree that is used to like this is the HTML code, and like this particular HTML code is being converted to this DOM tree. ठीक है, one thing I forgot to told you in that particular, or maybe I told you, I could not remember it, but whenever you will manipulate this particular DOM, whenever you are manipulating this particular, like a, how will you manipulate this? You will manipulate a single particular node. ठीक है, ठीक है, what we are doing is we are manipulating this particular single node. So whenever you are manipulating a single node, a new DOM tree will be created. A new DOM tree will be created. This means कि भैया your page will also reload. This means कि भैया your page, the page where you are seeing your UI will also reload. As simple as that. Why? Because भाई you are changing a DOM tree. As soon as you manipulate this particular DOM tree, a new DOM tree will be created. ठीक है, a new DOM tree will be rendered, and now this part, now a simple concept is कि भाई if a new DOM tree created, which means कि भाई this particular page will be reloaded again. So like if you have seen the recording of like if you were in the live class on that particular lecture, so as soon as I was what I was manipulating that particular DOM, okay, that particular DOM or the particular elements that were in the console, they were refreshing. Okay, the particular page was reloading again and again as soon as I was like the I was manipulating the DOM. So what it was doing, it was behind the scenes, it was creating a new DOM. Okay, I particularly manipulate this particular DOM, a new DOM will be created, and this will reload our page. Okay, so this is a very poor flow while creating your applications, because what you are doing is you okay, so this thing basically, when this particular when this particular thing happens कि भाई you manipulate this particular object and your DOM will be recreated, this thing known as the re-render. ठीक है, re-render, this is an important word. This is what you will say. ठीक है, so I will use this word from now. कि re-render, your DOM will re-render. Re-render means कि भाई it will create itself again. ठीक है, that's how a new UI will be shown to your particular screens. Okay, so this is what this process can be slow. Why? Because here, see, if your application is very big, okay, it can contains a thousands of DOM, okay, it can contains a thousands of DOM elements. This is not a tree, this is not a small tree, this can be a very very big tree that can contain so many nodes. And imagine, okay, just for now, imagine there are thousand node children of this particular of this particular node. Imagine if I am manipulating this particular DOM, the node, all these children will be recreated. Okay, not these children only, like the whole tree will be recreated. So like it is a very inefficient method. The process can be slow, it can take time and inefficient because the browser needs to re-render. This is what it is saying in simple terms. Whole page, even for small changes, even for the, like, if we do something not inner text, even if we are manipulating a particular text, okay, for that also a new DOM will be created. Solution, problem understood? Just give me a yes कि भाई प्रॉब्लम समझ में आ गई है हमको कि what was the problem with the, ठीक है. Let's come to the solution now. Solution is the virtual DOM. React introduces a virtual DOM to addresses these performance issues. ठीक है. React do these things into these particular 4 steps. Let's discuss these steps step by step. Virtual DOM representation, reconciliation, diffing algorithm, patching updates. Very, very important for your interviews. I am telling you this. This is as important as I was telling you this, the asynchronous part of the JavaScript. This is as important for the React.js. If, see, the virtual DOM is most important thing that made React so popular. Okay, why everyone is using React? Because of this particular virtual DOM, because this brings so much in like efficiency while updating your particular DOM. Okay, so how it is, the solution is DOM tree. Okay, the virtual DOM that we are going to learn. So it into something known as a virtual DOM. Let's understand these steps. What are these steps? Okay, and this is the, like, this comes under the, okay, let's start this. Reconciliation, diffing algorithm, batching updates. These three are the most important parts. ठीक है. Okay. Virtual DOM representation. First step is how virtual DOM is created, or how it solve this particular problem, the inefficiency that we are facing. Virtual DOM representation. React keeps a lightweight copy of this actual DOM in memory. This is called as the virtual DOM. Okay. तो अब हमें समझ में आ रहा है कि भैया कि रिएक्ट क्या करता है. वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द वर्चुअल डॉम नाउ. React, when we are building our applications with the React, whatever the application we are building, it actually create the virtual DOM for that particular website in our own memory. Own memory means कि भाई within the React environment, within the React environment. ठीक है? It creates a virtual DOM. A DOM that is actual DOM is that is in the browser. ठीक है? That the browser contains. Virtual DOM is that is something React create. We were we will understand how this particular virtual DOM is created. So there are some other things known as the transpilers and all those things. Okay, compilers that React uses. So, but the virtual DOM is being created. React creates its own virtual DOM in its memory first. Okay, in its memory first. As simple as that. When the state of the React component changes, React updates its virtual DOM. Okay, for now, forget this state. Okay, React component we have understood, but for now, just forget this particular word state. And in place of this particular state, mean, like, in this particular state word, just imagine कि भाई something you are changing on your particular UI. What React will do? React will update the virtual DOM. Okay, this is the simple concept that also happens in your what, in your actual DOM also. ठीक है कि भाई actual DOM will re-render. ठीक है. But second point come is the reconciliation. This is the React DOM representation. कि भाई first the DOM, a virtual DOM will be created, which is the lightweight copy of the actual DOM. ठीक है. Lightweight, why we are saying lightweight? See, the whatever the DOM is the actual DOM that contains so many properties. The browser properties we learned, ki, the manipulating parts of that particular DOM that we have learned, ki, by there are something known as the browser functionalities that browser provides us. Like the React, by see, the main part is to manipulate our DOM. So right now we are talking not talking about the browser functionality the browser provides. So what lightweight means कि भाई it does not contain all the features of the actual DOM. Why? Because we don't need that. ठीक है? Because we don't need that. So it is a lightweight copy of the actual DOM. Whenever something changes, a virtual DOM is being created. Let's come to this second part. This is known as the reconciliation. React. Okay. ठीक है. Let's understand this particular term. Reconciliation means your particular DOM is. Now imagine in this particular screen, you have changed something. Okay? You have changed something. What will happen now? A new virtual DOM is created. Okay? A new virtual DOM is created. भैया पर अक्षर पर अभी तो you said कि भाई we are manipulating this particular. No, we are not manipulating. What we are doing, whenever a change happens, React will create a new virtual DOM in its memory again. And now what it will do, imagine this is a particular screen. You have first change. I'm writing the first change. A new virtual DOM is created. Okay. Now a second change happens. A new virtual DOM is created. Okay. As simple as that. And all these DOMs are being created in the React memory. Now, what will happen is reconciliation is the process that says कि भैया now React will compare what is the difference between the DOM that was created in the first change and what is the difference between the DOM that is created in the second change. It will figure out the change. It will figure out the change कि भैया whatever changes it has been made, and then after that it will create a new DOM. It will create the new DOM. ठीक है. So this particular DOM will be the final DOM, and then what it will do, it will update the actual DOM as well. Actual DOM as well. So now, see, in this step we are taking an example. So that's why we are taking this like first thing change, then the second change have a new DOM is created, a new DOM is created. But in reality, like you can imagine there are thousands of DOM created, like not exactly thousand, like, I don't know the actual number, but they are just not limited to two DOMs. Like a hundreds of DOM created, hundreds of, like, as many changes you will do in your React application, those particular DOM will created, okay, and they will compare they will compare the present DOM with the previous DOM, and they will find the difference कि भाई क्या difference है दोनों में, and they will create a new DOM. They will create a new DOM, and then they will actually update the actual DOM. Actual DOM. Okay, let's come here. So React compares the new virtual DOM with the previous version of the virtual DOM. As simple as that. This process is called as the reconciliation. During reconciliation, React determines what exactly has changed in the virtual DOM. As I told you, it will create this, it will create this, it will create this, it will see the difference कि भाई क्या difference हो रहा है, and then it will it will update that. ठीक है. So during React determines what exactly has changed in this virtual DOM. This whole process is known as the reconciliation, and this particular whole process is very fast. Okay, is very fast. Like in within millisecond, it creates it, it compares it, and it actually like your manipulate the actual DOM. So uh, like it compares the if there are 10 DOMs that are being created, it within milliseconds or within like milliseconds, it will compare that, and it will make a new DOM, and then it will update the particular DOM. Okay, so this process is known as the reconciliation. What is reconciliation? That it will compare the new virtual DOM with the previous version of virtual DOM, and this process is called as the reconciliation. The process is known as the reconciliation. Okay, now कि भैया this process is known as the reconciliation, but what is the algorithm, what is the this particular algorithm, ठीक है, फर्स्ट डॉम, फर्स्ट वर्चुअल डॉम, सेकंड वर्चुअल डॉम, इट इज नाउ इट इज सीइंग ना कि भैया नाउ इट विल figure out कि भैया what things have been changed from this particular in this previous virtual DOM from the current virtual DOM, how this is happening. There is something algorithm that is known as the diffing algorithm, ठीक है, the particular algorithm that will understand, that will figure out कि भैया how this particular, what the particular things have been changed is known as the diffing algorithm. The process is known as the reconciliation, but whatever the algorithm that actually do that thing is the diffing algorithm. Understand? They, like, they are the same things, but the process is known as the reconciliation. But the algorithm that they are using in this process is the diffing algorithm. React uses the different algorithm to identify the differences between the current virtual DOM and the previous virtual DOM. Understood? This is the what it happens. Batching updates. Instead of making direct updates to actual DOM immediately, React batches multiple updates together. Now, here I was saying कि भाई this is not limited to two virtual DOMs. ठीक है, I am just taking the example for now कि भाई two DOMs. Imagine there are the so many DOMs there are so many virtual DOMs that were being created again and again. ठीक है, so what it will do is, this is the first change. This will identify कि भाई one thing has changed. It will, it will take a note of this particular change. Then again, if he finds the a new change, then he will note that particular second change. ठीक है, he will note this particular second change. ठीक है, if a new change again happen, then it will identify कि भैया third change will happen. ठीक है, third change will happen. It will combine them, it will combine them, and then now it will update the DOM. So it actually don't do that कि भाई it will first compare this, it will see कि भैया हाँ one thing has been changed now from these both of these things, okay, so I will update the actual DOM. No, it will like, it wait for some time, and it like combines the number of changes together, and then it will actually update the DOM. ठीक है, so this is what it is saying कि भैया instead of making a direct updates to the actual DOM, React batches means कि भाई combines the multiple updates together. This reduces the number of re-renders and reflows, improving performance. Hence, solution of that particular problem that we were facing by actually directly manipulating a particular DOM, the actual DOM. What we were facing, inefficient. Why? Because by we are manipulating the actual DOM again and again within, even if I have to do something, if I have to make a small change, I am doing that particular thing again and again, and that will lead to a re-render of that particular page. That's how React solved the what React solved this particular problem, reduces the number of re-renders and reflows, improving performance. After determining the changes, React updates only the parts of the actual DOM that have changed. A new a new very good thing that React do is कि भाई, first thing, तो it reduces the number of re-renders. The first thing it did it like, the first thing it what it did कि भाई, it reduces the number of re-renders. ठीक है, ठीक है. Second thing is, it is saying कि भैया अगर ये पूरा पर्टिकुलर अगर ये मेरा पूरा DOM है, तो यार मुझे सिर्फ ये चेंज करना है ना. सो वाई टू री-रेंडर दिस पर्टिकुलर like whole DOM again. I will change this particular I will change this particular object, and I will show that to particular UI. ठीक है, whatever the changes have been done into this particular object only. ठीक है, so like in simple terms, it is telling us कि भैया now I don't have to re-render this whole thing again. ठीक है, I don't have to re-render this whole thing again. I will change this, and then this particular node only re-render instead of re-rendering our whole DOM again. ठीक है, so after determining the changes, React updates only the part of the actual DOM that has changed. ठीक है, this is what batching updates point of that particular thing do. But the most important concepts are the both these two things is the reconciliation and the diffing algorithm. ठीक है, any doubt in this, you can ask me. ठीक है, ओके गुड। ठीक है, आई एम गिविंग सो मच टाइम इन दिस पर्टिकुलर थिंग बिकॉज दीज आर द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट कंसेप्ट कि भाई you first understand कि भाई why react I क्यों, ठीक है। most people don't do that, ठीक है। so the motivation behind that particular thing, after that only you will get the feeling कि अच्छा when you will write code ना कि then you will see कि भाई अच्छा react do this thing, all these things, ठीक है। but see, diffing algorithm is not publicly, like it is not out in the public, so like we don't know what actually diffing algorithm, like what is the code of this particular diffing algorithm, ठीक है। but we know the like the concept of this whole things। हाँ, react is made by the Facebook, ठीक है। react is made by the Facebook, so like there's a very good history of that particular thing also, but like I will tell you when this particular main concept's over. So, in summary, a virtual DOM allow React to make efficient and minimal updates to a real DOM, improving performance, simplifying development process. This approach is what makes React so powerful for building dynamic UI. Why dynamic, bhaiya? Because why dynamic, Akshat? Because now we are not actually again and again re-rendering our whole DOM element. We are dynamically changing that particular node of that particular DOM element. ठीक है? Interactive user interfaces, ठीक है। as simple as that, ठीक है। so when I was saying ना कि भैया दी in first point what we did कि भाई we don't have to worry about the DOM manipulation. We have to focus on building UI, and React will do that DOM manipulation for us. Now you got the answer. How will React do that thing? React will do that thing with the help of the virtual DOM. Now, bhai, we don't have to write all those things. The document dot get elemented by ID, dot create element, dot all those things. Okay? Now we don't have to do all those things. React will do. React will create its own document, own DOM tree, and then it will update the DOM tree. We don't have to do anything. Okay? This is the summary. Now, fourth point was what was the fourth point? Used to create SPA apps. SPA map apps means the single page applications. Okay, let's cover this fast also. What are single page applications? A single page application is the web applications that interacts with the user, dynamically rewriting the current page rather than loading entire new pages. Okay, you got again the answer. Okay, that is why I have made this in the series. कि भाई you first understand the virtual DOM and then you will eventually get the answer of this particular question. What are the single page applications? Application mean that dynamically rewriting the current page rather than loading the entire new page. This is what we are going to do with React, right? This is what we are going to do with React. कि भाई we are going to dynamically update our UI. ठीक है? We are not going to load that particular DOM again and again and load on new pages. So when you are dynamically updating your UI, it is known as the single page application. Okay, as simple as that. So we manipulate the DOM gets re-rendered again, page gets reload. Okay, after virtual DOM, VDOM plays a crucial role in creating a single page applications. SPA was the web application that load a single HTML page dynamically. Okay, so this is see what you are seeing here is you are seeing here a HTML only, but bhaiya you will say कि भाई this is written in a function. So like we will understand this is a syntax of the React. Okay, we will understand this particular thing, but for now this is a simple HTML that is being written in the function of JavaScript. Okay, so we will cover that later, but for now it is saying कि भाई load a single HTML page dynamically, update the content as the user interacts with the app without reloading the entire page. Again and again the concept comes to one thing only कि भाई without reloading the entire page. The whole React came to solve this particular problem about the DOM manipulation that we used to do. ठीक है, as simple as that. In terms of routing means कि भाई when you navigate from your one page to another page, कि we do something like ना कि if there is something if there is something if there is something a particular home page, and in your navbar it contains a sign up page, a sign in page, about us, and if you click on this about us you will see कि a new page will come and it will reload. ठीक है, it will reload. ठीक है, if you click on the sign up page, a sign up page will come but it will reload. But if you create applications with the React, what you will see कि भाई your page is not reloading, a new component is being present is being presented in front of you. You will see you won't see a you won't see your page reload. Okay, you will see कि भाई without reloading the page, what happening is that the particular page is being presented in front of you. This is like, how do I show you? Can I show you with my Cotrail website? So see, if I click on the sign in, what you are seeing here कि भाई my particular page is not reloading. ठीक है, if I go here on sign in, you will see that my particular page is not reloading. Why? Because I have created this application into React.js only. ठीक है, so um, so like in terms of routing means कि भाई when you navigate from one page to another, with libraries like React Router, React provides powerful routing capabilities out of the box. You can define routes as components. We will understand this whole thing, but making it easy to navigate different without the full page reloads. This is the one thing that React help us to do in terms of routing. ठीक है, libraries like the React Router, again a library. ठीक है, this is again a JavaScript library. ठीक है, what is a library? That will help us in some kind of things, that will help us to build something, that will help us to make our code look smaller, or maybe like, see, just make our task easier. ठीक है, as simple as that. This is the end of our today's session, and we covered all the four steps one by one. Uh, JavaScript library, what are the UI components? It has something more as the virtual DOM, and it is used to create SPA apps. Okay, the whole particular thing कि भाई why React.js, how React.js, क्यों आई React.js इतनी famous क्यों हुई, because of this. It has some uh, it has some like features that will make our DOM manipulation very easy. That will make our uh, like the DOM manipulation much easier, and then like it helps to improve our performance. ठीक है, with the help of this particular virtual DOM that it do. ठीक है, understand? If you have any questions, you can ask me. Like you can open your mics. Like there is no, if you're writing something, you can open your mics. Uh, and if you like understood, then you can write no, like yes. ठीक है, okay. Okay, what about the Divyanshi? Oh, Divyanshi is not there. Okay, okay. ठीक है, okay. ठीक है. So like there is one session when I like there is one session in the Triple IT Delhi. There I was invited as a speaker to talk about on React. So this was the particular thing I talked upon in that particular session when I was invited as a speaker in IT Delhi. This was my at the starting of the fourth year. So optimizing performance in React apps. So I was discussing about the strategies, technique, and the best practices. How you can improve your uh, how you can improve your what um, the React, like how you can improve your React app. So like we understood na ki bhai this is like React improve its like React help us with the help of the virtual DOM, it improve its performance. But there are some problems in that also that we will going to learn कि भाई virtual DOM also has some problems that it like when we create our particular application. So like how you can optimize your React apps now. So that was the best practices, like techniques I talked about, that all those things. But in that particular thing, before telling them कि भाई how you can improve your React performance optimization techniques, there were two things. First, make them clear, understanding the basics of virtual DOM that we have done, and the examining, redefining, and the re-rendering. This is what we have done today. Okay. So I first told them कि भाई like I wanted to first them I, I wanted to improve their basics कि भाई first they should know कि भाई what are the basics of the virtual DOM and how diffing and re-rendering works, and then I moved to the performance optimization techniques. I have just again showing you this because in this particular slide, I made things like clearly. I made things something visually clearly, so you can see actually how I was telling you. So understanding, defining, and reconciliation. So this is a particular what? This is a particular JavaScript file. Okay, what we're doing here, we are manipulating this particular DOM. So this, see, this is our actual DOM tree. How this is how it looks like. Okay, this is how it looks like. So this is how it looks like. So this is a particular JavaScript, and we are manipulating a JavaScript with the help of this syntax. Okay, so this is a DOM tree. Then I told them कि भाई this is how it looks like in the console. Okay, this is how it looks like in the console when you go to the element. DOM elements are rebuilt and repainted. Repainting मतलब वही means कि मतलब they are re-entering again and again on each update. ठीक है, so like the code suggest, like the code is look like something like that कि भाई it contains a time, it contains a timer, and like the our UI is updating, right? Our UI is updating every second. So what it is doing, it is updating the DOM also again and again, again and again. So that is why I was showing that here कि भाई it is updating the whole DOM. It is updating the whole DOM again and again. This particular yellow is a blink line. It was blinking at that particular time. So I was showing them कि भाई this is how it updated the actual DOM again and again. ठीक है, on each update. ठीक है, this is a JavaScript. Then I told them कि भाई virtual DOM is something known as the actual DOM in the form of objects. So this is how it the actual DOM looks like. ठीक है, this is how it actual DOM looks like. When you will, I will show you that in the class when we will start learning React, start writing React. So this is a React syntax. Okay, we will talk about that later, but this is a React syntax, and this is how the actual DOM looks like. So the like, virtual DOM looks like. Okay, so when we understood the major phase ending and reconciliation, this is how it is happening. This is your DOM tree, and the particular time is updating. Okay, so it will changing the whole DOM tree. But what virtual DOM do is कि भाई it is comparing these uh, only these two nodes, and it is updating only the node that is made to update. ठीक है, so React will automatically creates a new virtual DOM tree for the update. ठीक है, so after the React creates a new virtual DOM, this is something I was telling you. Okay, previous virtual DOM, current virtual DOM, it will compare, and then it will update the actual DOM. So it has updated the particular node of the DOM. So it will stop the DOM. It will stop whole DOM to re-render. ठीक है, so this is what I was telling you, using a different algorithm called reconciliation to figure out what changes are necessary. DOM only receives and repaints the updated nodes. Okay, I have told you about that. So this is a React application. Not now uh, that same code that was written in the JavaScript at that time, the whole DOM was building again and again. But when we do that particular thing in the React, then this particular timer is running. But now what you like, this is not showing the blink part, but what you are showing here is that it will update this particular span element only. So instead of updating the whole thing, okay, it is now updating the span element only again and again. So a yellow blink light was coming here, that is telling कि भाई this particular element is only updating, not the whole DOM. So this was some interesting thing I told in that lecture, examining, defining and re-rendering. भाई क्या कर सकता है, this can concept are slow, complex, poorly managed, we can distribute a state change. ठीक है, ठीक है, so like so like I was telling them कि भाई how there are problems in the diffing and the re-rendering part also. So I was telling them, and then there are the what there are the React performance optimization techniques that will help our React to improve, React particular application to improve. So we can discuss the later, but my important concept was to show you this particular thing. Okay, so understood. This was I just our time is up. Yeah, okay. So we can now continue tomorrow. We can start we will start writing the React JS from tomorrow. Okay. And the lecture yesterday, the lecture I could not take. So what I will do is I will give you an extra recording of 1 hour. Okay, and then you can see that also. Okay, so like you can go, guys. If anyone have questions, they can ask, but you can go.
Actually, I might have missed one of our previous recordings. So I was just thinking, like, how do I? Is it just?
which recording?
Uh, I'm not sure if I had missed some CSS recording. I think it's there, but do I'm just pushing all my workings, like practice things in my GitHub, creating a repo for me.
Okay.
Uh, I was hearing something like a PR is raised in one of our recordings. So do I need to fork our repo?
uh, like no, I was uh, you know all these na, ki how to make a PR and how to fork all these things, you know how to
Yeah,
use.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do.
so you don't have to create a fork. I was just telling both of these guys because they don't know how to use the GitHub, so I was just telling them ki you can fork these things and then you can create a PR. So like you don't have to do that. It was just for
Uh,
learning purposes only. Okay.
okay,
So like you
got
can
it,
solve
got
your see, like I have given you the assignments. You can solve those assignments by your own, and if you have any doubts, you can ask them. Okay, you don't have to create the PRs for that.
okay,
It was
got it,
just
got
for
it.
the learning purposes. Ki bhai, how to create a PR, what is a PR, how to fork. Okay, so all this stuff.
Makes sense. Sure. Thank you.
And like if any of the recordings is not working, you can just ping me on WhatsApp. I will solve that particular problem also.
Sure, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Bye. Bye, guys. We will meet tomorrow.